Oh, hi. Hey, how's it going? It's me, Zira, and I'm back to show you some of my creative process, some stuff that I've been working on lately. So that's exciting. I found this super cute little coffin-shaped, it was actually one of those Nightmare Before Christmas, like coffin lunch boxes at a thrift store for $2. Very exciting. And I decided I wanted to make a journal to fit inside of it. And I did that, and this is the journal. And unfortunately, so the top and the bottom and the signatures, that thing fits in there. But this was too tall, and it ended up getting in the way. So it'll go in, but you got to really smash the living hell out of it to get it in there. I didn't want to do that. So I made a new journal for the inside of the box. But today, we'll show you that another time. Today, I just want to show you this cute little standalone coffin-shaped journal that I made. It's very fun, and I hope you will enjoy it. I have it closed with just a chunk of scrap lace fabric. It's just a piece that most people would otherwise throw away, and I thought, no way, man. I'm going to use that to close my journal. So that's fun. So let's see here. This is the front. Got a bit of grunged up lace on there, which is really fun. Little stamp on a book page. It's 4 signatures, and I think they're, I want to say 12 or 13 pages each. There's the back. And we're just going to go through, I'm going to push this down a little. Pardon my wibble wobble. Let's see here. Oh no, my camera's going to fall over. Okay. Bear with me. I'm a little technologically unadvanced. I really need to fix this. Okay. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. Let's hope that doesn't fall, right? And let's see here. Okay. So, let's get to it, shall we? We open her up. And she's got pockets on the front and the back. We have a little planchette notepad, so that's super fun. We've got some little bits of ephemera in these little pockets. What I found with this shape of a journal is that those little pockets don't hold very much. So I don't think I have any actual pockets in the journal itself, just because, well, I might have a couple in there. We'll get to it. I've got sewn edges on a lot of the pages and stamping. So that's fun. And I'll just go through this kind of quickly. I found there's a lot of different printables that you can find. I try really hard to avoid AI. In the beginning of my junk journal journey, I was buying kits left and right without realizing that some of them were actually created with AI. And looking back, it's really obvious now. But you know, I have the kits at this point, so I still use them. I'm not going to waste, my dollars. But I don't use AI when I make my own kits, which, by the way, you can find my kits at kofi.com/loveofthedark. And my Etsy is back up as well, and these will be in the Etsy shortly, too. I've got a little bit of vintage look. That's always fun. I found that clipping things onto the sides of the pages here seems to be a lot better than trying to force a pocket in such a small little space, But this one has tons and tons of writing space, which is really cool. Lots of little sewn details. I love that. I finally got my sewing machine working, so that's very exciting. It didn't for a long time. And I thought, well, I don't need to use a sewing machine. I can just go without. And I'm telling you, ever since getting that thing up and running again, I had to clean it out. It was in storage for a long time. It was inhabited by spiders. I had to, you wouldn't want to deal with that. But now it's all cleaned up, and it's all oiled up and nice. No more spiders. And, yeah, I've been on a sewing tear, just absolutely going nuts over the sewing. So here we have a little coffin-shaped notebook, which is really fun. There's some extra pages there with some of that leftover paper that I had. And that is fun, again, to just clip in there. Oops, get my clipper going the right way. All right. And more of that. There's just some cool occult images that you can take and blow up and put on other pages. I'm not sure where that one came from, but more sewing and stamping. The botanical pages that are in this particular one are all toxic flowers and plants, so that's really fun. This page and the other pages that are like that, they came out of an antique stamp book, I guess, for stamp collectors. So that was cool. There's lots of macabre, weird stuff in here. This is a section of a heart, as they used to see a heart, you know, back in the day before they had, I guess, better medical technology. I don't know. More sewing, more creepy. Lots of sewing and creepy. Yay. And pardon my sniffing. I know I'm sniffling a bit. I've had a cold, and I'm getting better, but it's just the little sniffles are hanging on. There's more of that cool stamp book. There's a lot of different languages in there and a lot of different types of alphabets, which I thought was really interesting. More writing space, more of that lovely botanical, toxic stuff. These, by the way, all of the pages that are this kind of color, these are all coffee dyed by me. And I found a really cool way to do my coffee dyeing. I don't know if you've heard of this one or not, but there's a gal, I can't remember who it was, I'm so sorry. There's a gal on YouTube that was like, well, you just take your wet coffee paper and you throw them in your dryer, like as in your washer and dryer. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's just going to mangle them, you know, because when you take them out of the solution, they can get kind of torn. Well, the thing is, you take them out carefully and you let them, like, sit them in a stack and let them sit for a bit until they're no longer dripping and soaking wet. Just till they're, you know, dampish. And then you just take the whole thing and you just literally throw them in the dryer. And in 3 to 5 minutes, what you get is a whole bunch of crumpled up but very dry paper. And when I took them out, I was like, oh man, they're all crumpled up. Well, guess what? I have an iron in addition to a sewing machine, and just 2 or 3 seconds over the paper with an iron, and ooh, they were flat and nice. And I'm telling you, I will never go back to just letting them air dry or to drying them in the oven, because you can do a stack of like 40 pages in just a few minutes. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, oh, I've got these cool crow stamps. I got those off of Temu before I realized that Temu was the devil. So I don't buy from Temu anymore, but it was a good deal. I use those all the time. This cool paper was from, it's like schematics. It's like schematics for some kind of electronics. I'm not real fluent in that particular language, but I thought it looked cool. So I added it in. There's more of that. There's some buggies. Some buggies for the creep factor. Ooh, so much fun. So much fun. I went a little wild with the sewing in some places. I was like, ooh, I'll turn here. Ooh, and I'll turn here. I'll just keep turning. The thing with sewing, you want to be careful. This looks really cool. But in the future, I'm going to lengthen the stitch just a little bit, because you do have to be a little, well, I guess you don't have to be super careful with these ones, but on some paper, if it's really fragile, having the stitches that close together kind of makes it so it's perforated in a way that you can pull apart kind of easily. These ones aren't going to be a problem, but you do want to be mindful of the sewing machine if you're sewing on paper, not to have those stitches too close. See, this one is a lot better. They're way farther apart. It's not going to just disintegrate. So, oh yay, this was cool. I think I got this idea from maybe Natasha of Treasure Books, which, by the way, oh my gosh, she has the most delightful channel. You should check her out if you haven't yet. I'm sure you probably have, but if you haven't, Treasure Books, seriously, she's so mellow, and she also is very funny. But the stuff she does is just absolutely gorgeous. And I like that she had sewn lines for, you know, for writing. I thought that was really cool. So I took her idea and ran with it. Here's some more of that paper. This is more of that paper that I bought off of Temu before I realized that Temu was the devil. And, you know, if you look really closely at it, that's probably AI. But again, you know, I already have it. What am I going to do? I'm going to stick it in a journal. That's what I'm going to do. Whoever gets it can do whatever they want with it. Get that back on there. This was from a collage that I actually made. And this, I do believe this is on my Coffee, however you say it. More writing spaces. Some pretty plants on writing spaces. Yeah, there's the other side of that pretty collage that I did. On that one, there's all kinds of like French ephemera, and there's music sheets and bugs. It's very cool. Very nature-y themed. More of that schematic page. There's the other side of that writing page. So you can see there is a ton of actual writing space in this one, which I know a lot of people like very much. I like writing space. My tension got a little wonky there. Meh. Doesn't matter. It looks cool. It adds to the grungy effect. All right, we are to the back. And on the back, I have stapled a little notepad that I cut down into the coffin shape. And that, my friends, is the journal. I was going to put more pockets on the back, but realizing how little they will actually hold, I think a better use of space is more paper. So yeah, that's her. And you can see, when she's closed, she has tons of room. I mean, you could add loads and loads. You could almost double. You could probably easily double the amount of stuff that she's got in there and still be able to close her. So, yeah, this is my first little coffin journal that was meant to go in the tin, but ended up a little too big. And on my next video that I'm going to actually record right now, I will show you the other journal. So, I hope you'll stick around and all that. And check out my Etsy, etsy.com/shop/loveofthedark. Okay, bye guys. We'll see you soon.